about?
So this intelligence, as we talk about, we can, define in a many way. There was a number of ways to define the intelligence, right? So when it's come to the artificial intelligence, so we can think about whether it's a making a computer which can think, or the automation of any process who can associate it, like the way we human like to think. The same way, if some machine or some automation things can think, it's also artificial intelligence. Or the way human used to do the art and craft thing, right? So if the machine can think and start working on the similar kind of art and craft, that is also part of the artificial intelligence, right? And also the study of the mental faculties through the computer models, that is also artificial intelligence. So the definition of artificial intelligence, I can say it's a very wide, and everyone can have their own definition. But in a very single line, we can say it's the mimic of human intelligence by the machines. When we say machine, the computer, everything comes, it's the machine only. So that's actually the artificial intelligence, where we can replicate our behavior, our way of thinking, our rationally thinking, our decision making. That is actually artificial intelligence, right? So if you want, I can show you one example. And I believe you all are aware about this rock paper scissor. Probably you used to play with your kids, or you have heard somewhere. So meanwhile,
Uh, in classroom, I used to take AI classes, so I have just make them students learn this game to make them understand what is AI through this game.
right. So this is the game. It's usually used by the most of the trainers. Like it's something based on the AI tricks, like how the human mind used to think and how we are repeating the our actions. So by putting this example of rock, scissor, and paper. So if I can choose the rock, probably this system already knows, like I will start from the rock first. So and I will repeat the same thing. So on the very repeating actions, he will start acknowledging that I am having a pattern, and they will start putting the pattern. So this, if you can see how the machines are thinking, they are usually predicting our move. Like we used to repeat ourselves, and basis on the move and the historical data, like I only choose the rock every time. So he used to, if you measure, the machine usually repeat himself in every second or third incident, right?
Yes.
So this kind of exercise you can check, just to connect the dots between the intelligence, how the machines is working, and how the human brain can be mimicked by the machines. So in crux, it's something like the system which can think like human, which can react like human, and which can act like the human. So in real life also, we are having a multiple examples related to this on the AI, which we will cover, of course. But the very famous, which used to be taken care or given by everyone, which is connected in our life, it's something Google Assistant, Siri, or Alexa. And I'm sure like you guys had tried multiple times.
Of
Or
course. Yes.
in case you tried the WhatsApp also, by the voice recognition, rather than writing any text, you're supposed to tell him, so that it can convert your voice to text. So that is also part of the AI. So we will cover this all, how they are working, right? So now, how to check whether the machine is actually or working like the human, whether there is a artificial intelligence is implemented or not. So this kind of test is known as a tuning test. This tuning test was, firstly identified and implemented in the 1950. So the principle of this test, the art of creating machine that perform functions which required the intelligence which supposed to be performed by the people. That means where the replication of human action, human mind, and human performance is getting replicated by any machine or any of the system is actually the artificial intelligence. And the study related to this particular thing is actually artificial intelligence, right? So this tuning test, you can go in a detail. It's a very very long process and which is still applicable. Since 1950, it was followed by the all the developer who's working on the AI. Now, why we need the AI? Any thought? Like, we are having a plenty of human resources available, and being on a India, we are the one of the very high human resource capable country. So why we require the AI?
So there are certain tasks which could not be performed by which are dangerous for humans. There we can use AI, as well as error is reduced. Human error, like we do, machines are designed in such a way that they are not emotionally, actually they are not biased. So all these things may we require this AI for all these things.
And sometimes we need to do something repeatedly, which is, not possible for the humans. They get bored of doing things
Tired, yes,
again and
yes.
again, and they get tired also. So it's that is the reason. Yeah.
And machine can do it quickly as compared to human beings. They take very less time.
Right, you all are correct. So there is a one point the fairness, another point the safety measures, another point the boredom or the repeated task, which human brain got the bore with the same thing. If you follow the same pattern every day, you usually want to change, right? So exactly the requirement of AI is the same, so that we can make the machine which can function fast, more accurately than the human. Uh, like someone said, like the to avoid the error and the correction to match the accuracy also, right? And also the same repeated task can be done by the machine. So what you said is the exactly requirement of the AI, which thinks our developer to work focus and convert the things, so that human can have their quality of time and they can spend the quality of times in the some other things and other tasks. So that is the exactly requirement. And the AI, we can use for the multiple things as already explained by you guys, right? The first thing is the safety, where the risk is involved. You are correct. To avoid, like, human life is a more precious than anything else, so we can have the machines to perform the task where the human life usually got in a danger. The things which perform with the accuracy and the speed, so that we can maintain this. The things where the human supposed to get tired, and where the more power and the more things are required, so we can get that power from the machines. The accuracy is the one part. And also to overcome the human inefficiency. When we said the human inefficiency, it's not mean by the capability, it's mean by the human nature, right? Psychologically, sometimes the things are getting the efficiency got degraded, maybe the repeated task or maybe the something else, right? So to overcome such a things, where the the emotional part, the hardcore emotional things are about to come, and also to achieve the consistency, right? And we can have the machine as the companions also, and where who can understand the function and can involve. So this is exactly requirement where AI we can implement, and we guys are implementing. So many things are already achieved in the AI. So now coming on the AI capability and the applications. So I am just touching few of them. There was a number of AI abilities and the applications where it's going, but I am touching the few of them which are very popular and which we used to have. If you remember, I given you one example of the WhatsApp text to voice to text, or the similar kind of Alexa app, or something related to the app or something machine where the natural language processing is required. So the machines where they have progress in learning the natural language processing. The natural language processing, like if I'm having a software which convert voice to text, and probably whatever I'm talking to you, it's getting documented on the another machine, where they are appropriately choosing all the spelling as well as the punctuations also on the basis of my language, which is the natural language which I'm using. So one is the application where we can use for the language. Second, we can use the AI machine for the recognition. And this is something which nowadays getting implemented everywhere. uh, you know the recognition, a machine who can recognize the human facial on the basis of the facial, who can identify the gender, age group, ethnicity, and the emotions, also the facial expressions. The machine can understand where the expression is a tireless or whether someone is actually in an emergency or required some support. The third, on the vision part, right? So let's say we can identify and we can differentiate between the any of the pictures by looking at whether the picture of a tree or picture of a dog, picture of such animals, or by looking at the object. But the same capabilities, if we are transferring to the AI, right? So AI can become the same capable to identify all the difference by the computer visions. Like it can get identified difference between the objects. And the best example you can choose, if you guys tried ever the Google Lens. It's one app, Google Lens, and probably that if you select the that app and you can choose any of the object, it can identify it, whether it's the laptop or it's something else, and related search can be shown.
So it is there in the, sorry to interrupt, it is there in the mobile phones as well. Like if you will,
Right.
I mean, click any picture. So if the picture is of a dog, so it will tell you, or I mean, that this is a dog or a cat. So this, I have this feature in my phone.
Right. So that's the recognition method. And if you remember, probably on the Facebook also, the same algorithm is used whenever the picture was uploaded and Facebook suggested you your friend's name. Whether in your picture is someone is around you, that suggests the name. So that is also used the same facial recognition algorithm used by the Facebook also. Now on the navigation, like AI machine can get a progress in the learning of the self navigation so that they can sense about the route and everything, right? So the best example is a self driven car, which is the hottest thing nowadays in the market. And probably you heard about the Tesla, who's getting successful or because of this self driven cars. Also on the gaming part, like the machines can replace the human, become your companion to play the games also. And as we discussed in the last, the creativity part also, so there was a machines who can write the stories basis on, if you are giving you the some clues or the plot, they can write a story, they can make a painting, and even the music is also getting created by the AI nowadays. So probably in the coming years, you will heard, in place of any composer, there might be some company's name who's doing the composing of music. Now on the ML. So as we talk about the AI, have you heard about this word machine learning? So this machine learning, if you heard, this is always come around with the AI. It is the subset of the AI only, right? So when we talk about the machine learning, it's a method where the data analysis and the decision making on the basis of the data, so that all work can be done by the machine, is actually known as the machine learning, where the this all kind of the work can be done by our programming or by the coding also. But in the machine learning, why it's called as the machine learning, reason being the human intervention is where very minimum is required. That means machine can do the self learning basis on the practice, and they can make their own decisions, and they can give you the processed output, right? And usually most of the time this machine learning is getting corrected by the practicing. They can get all the prediction and outcome on the basis of the explicitly programmed is a one way, or another way there was a different type of a machine learning which we will discuss in the later slides, right, where the machine themselves learn, make a decision and give you the process output. So when it's come to the machine learning, so I'm repeating, this machine learning is actually a method where the machine usually learn without or the very minimum human intervention, make a decision, do all the analysis of a data and automation basis on the input which was got to the machine as per the goal set by us, or as per the goal set by that particular project. And there was a three method of a machine learning when we come to this, right? But before going that, how the machine learning is differentiate with our traditional programming, as I said about the bare minimum intervention by the human in the machine learning. So if you guys are aware about the programming, the whenever we are writing any coding or any programming, we used to keep the output in our mind and then we make a program. That means if I want to add something, right, in my program, so I am always keeping in my mind the output will be the addition only, and accordingly I used to write a program. That is called the traditional programming which we guys are having and which we used to follow. While in a machine learning, right, so there is output is something we set, this will be the desired, and the program was created by machine themselves. That means we are just feeding them the logic, like a logic on the basis they're supposed to work out, they're supposed to organize, they're supposed to perform the task on the basis of input and give us an output, and the part between the input and output will be taken care by the machine learning. While in a traditional programming, all this programming part usually take by developer or a programmer, a coder who used to do this programming. They used to put all this effort by keeping the end result in a mind. While in a machine learning, we are just giving them that this is supposed to be the output and this will be the input. Now decide yourself how to get this particular output. So that means we are guiding them, we are just developing a logic, and on the basis of logic, they are actually doing all the programming. And how this programming has been done on a machine learning, right? This is just one example which usually getting used by most of the telecom companies nowadays, even in India, and they are having one historical pattern. Let me give you this example why I am putting this example. There was a chances of a late payment, right? So nowadays this telecom usually all our telecom companies, they put one model to identify the user who usually pay the late payment almost on a frequency basis historically. So to correct that, what they did, they used to start analyzing the data. They're having the input as the bills, historical bill. On the basis of historical bill, the system process himself, they identified the users who paid more than a 5 times late payment fee in last 10 cycle of the bill. On the basis of that, they given the output, which is the name of the users who usually paid a late payment. So that the promptness to become the payment on a time, the companies start calling them, putting a message to them, and they identified these are the behavior of the user and the consumer who used to pay the late, so that they can get corrected and they can push them to pay on time. So this kind of things are nowadays are very common on the data front, where the ML are getting involved in our life, right? So how this machine learning are related to the artificial intelligence? They might be the different subset and they might be the different branch, but why always this machine learning comes along with the AI? And why we are talking about the AI? It's always getting redirected towards the machine learning. If you search even on the Google AI, you will get 3-4 search related to the AI, and then you will find the keyword of the machine learning is also included with the same search, while you search only for the AI. So basically, the machine learning is actually the overlapping of the AI. When we said the artificial intelligence to think like a human, to behave like a human, to replicate or mimic our human brain, right? The same time, the programming in the same intelligence way is getting done by the machine. And as the name suggested, the machine learning, they are usually learn themselves by some logics, which was the learning method, and they given us the output or the process data what is required. And also the deep learning, you can see on this picture, this deep learning is also part of the same, right? Same set. And deep learning we will cover in the later, and maybe day 2 is totally we will start with the deep learning only. But just to give you overview of this deep learning, this is again a model which is having a multi-layer model. And by this putting a multi-layer model, what it will be there will be the hidden layer which will be not shown to us and not visible to us, where the machine will start working how they are correlating the things, and we will only able to see the input and output. In between, whatever the logic is made by this machine is actually the part of the deep learning. So when we talk about the AI, it's a system which is intelligent, right? The machine learning, it's a self-learning algorithm, right? And the deep learning, it's again the deeper size of the machine learning, where the multi-layer model will be implemented on the basis of logic. It will be work on the multi-layer model, and it will give you only the process output which is required. So there will be no visibility of the hidden layers, right? So any question till now? Any of the doubt till now? As we are just touching the basics so that we can have the clear picture what is AI about, what is the machine learning is all about. Just I just want to hear from all of you. If someone can brief me what is the AI so far, maybe in a layman language, I want to hear. That will be better rather going on the definition.
So AI, these are the system which makes the machine intelligent like we humans are, capable of learning and developing.
Right.
I can say that a machine that makes our lives easier.
Yes, machines are always make our life easier since the beginning, even from a pulley to till all the robots. So, ma'am, I just want to hear something very specific related to the AI.
Sir, AI is an artificial intelligence in which the machine uses its own intelligence around its surroundings and then take the decision accordingly, and it will give the output of it.
Right, ma'am.
And
But sir, I require one clarification of ML. I could not understand machine
Sure, ma'am.
language.
I will repeat. I saw the your message also. I believe someone
Thank you,
write on
sir.
the chat also, right?
And sir, AI has got many components like computer vision, face recognition, natural language processing, etc.
Right. Any other definition of the AI? Like I said, these are AI is always having a very wide. So there will be a multiple of definitions, multiple of by multiple of the words or the sentence we can explain the AI.
So any system which is able to learn, self-learning, evolving over a period of time.
Right. That is actually the machine learning. What you said, ma'am.
Okay.
That is the part of AI. The machine learning is all about. So I'm repeating what is machine learning. It's all about the automates the analysis and all the concept that will be built by the machine directly. Self-learning process. on the basis of the artificial intelligence. So that pattern making, the decision and all which will be by the self-learning is taken care is actually a machine learning. That is exact is the machine learning is all about.
So, rock, paper, and scissor game, that is machine learning because it learns through the pattern we use during that game. It collects
Right.
data.
It's exactly a machine learning.
Machine learning because the moves, it just used to watch the moves the human made. And accordingly, then it initially, obviously, the machine, it will lose the game, but after that, it start winning.
Right. It track our pattern. When they track our pattern and they came to know like this is the pattern as usually used by us, and they try to replica just opposite of that pattern to win the game. And the only key, like if you want to use that game, always try to select the one part of this. If you are selecting a Caesar, always try to select the Caesar. Then you are having a 5% chances of the winning only. That too only 5% chances. So I used to try multiple times
Sir?
for hours to make the fool of the machine whether they are able to correlate it or not. So I always select the one part of that game. So actually that is the machine learning. You said right.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, here I want one clarification. If machine language is to learn the moves and track what we are doing and then implementing, AI will implement it, then what is the robot? Robot is also using the same technology.
Yes, ma'am. Robots are also the part of the machine learning. Right. So the very basic. Priyanka, ma'am, can you mute yourself, please? Priyanka0920 is the user ID. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So, ma'am, when we talk about the robot, before the robot, this AI, the artificial intelligence was how we get the artificial intelligence in any of the machines. When we said about the replication of the human brain or the mimic of the human brain, right? So we are having the senses which help us to identify the object, which help us to make the decision whether the thing is a hard or a soft by touching the things, whether it's a milk or a tea by smelling or something. By smelling, we can identify the object. So there was a sense. So the similar way, the sensors are very important in the field of AI, and these robots are trained in a such a way. There was a predefined things was imported in the that programming and the coding, and that's a guided things, and on the basis of the guided things they start taking their own decision, and they behave like the machine learning, and they are actually machine learning. But there was a two part of it, as we said, in the AI. If you can see this picture, there was a three part. One is the AI, second is the ML, and third is a deep learning. So these all three things are correlated together. The AI to make them intelligent, ML to start learning and programming themselves in an automated way, all the analysis, and to take the decision. That actually part come by this deep learning. So the robots are example. The fine robots are usually implemented with this all three models.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. So, ma'am, this machine learning is clear, or should I repeat it?
No, sir, it is clear now.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
So, any questions so far, or can we proceed now? And are you guys clear about this, the programming difference between the machine learning and your traditional or legacy programming?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the difference between the traditional and machine learning programming is just related with the coding and the decision maker. Like there, or the program is done by traditionally by us by keeping the output in our mind, so that we usually define the output in advance in our code. While in a machine learning, they learn and they give you output. All the programming part will be done, decision part will be done by the machines usually. Okay. So now we will be entering towards the data part. As we discuss about the machine learning, and during the machine learning, I said there was a 2-3 way, exactly a 3-way of the machine learning, how they usually take the decision and how they start self-learning mechanisms, or the automate and the analytical part, how they will do. So before going to that, we should know about the data. What is the data is all about? And this data is the key nowadays. It's the hot topic, and it is something which actually enable AI, ML, and all the things to start working. So in the artificial intelligence, there was a multiple technologies to collect the data, right? And actually, why this AI is more important? Reason being, a human brain can process a limited number of the data, while we can expand that limitation by putting this artificial intelligence in the machines so that they can handle a big data also. And big data is also a new thing in the network or in the market, where everything is nowadays collected with the big data, where we are having a number of the datas getting processed by the machine, right? So when we said about the data is consist of all the raw facts, values, figure, right? And there might be something which is not correlated, but actually a data, and that can be used as the input also, right? And once this data will be taken in the structured way, when we processed and when we present, right, then that data become the information. So there is a difference between the data and information. The data is something raw, right, where only the facts are there, values are there, anything which can be given as the input. On the basis of data, if we do some structure analysis, if we process that particular data, and the output is actually the information. So the difference between data and information is clear, right? Now, how this data is getting processed, right? So why the processing is required? The processing is required to get the meaning out of from this data, so that we can get the information and we can tell this data and these are the information. So the between the data and information is the processing part, right? So the process can be a multiple things, like the process we can do either by the analysis, either by the labeling, by the segregation of the things, and by the interpretation of the data, by looking at the pictures, whether these pictures are belongs to animal, these pictures are belongs to human, these pictures are belongs to trees, right? These pictures are belongs to the aquatic part of life, right? So by that, all this processing is done, and that the output come as known as the information. So whenever someone asks you about the data chart, so it's usually an input, then the process and the output. So input will be a data, which can be anything. The process can be anything related to that data, which make a sense of the data is actually a information or output. Is it clear about the data? This is a very basic thing of the data, which is very important in terms of AI. Or I can say for any of the language or the coding. So how the data is getting processed and output. Now let's see the when we say about the data analysis, how that data analysis was actually done in the flowchart manner. So the first thing, whenever we got the data, we have to inspect the data to identify the data, and the basis of the inspection, we can segregate, filter all the useful information. We can cluster out the information which is not required, or we found like a spam or something, right? On the basis of all this filtering of the data, then we can make the analysis on the basis of the data, and then that analysis can be converted into the goal or the information which was intended for that particular data. Let's say you got the pictures, let's say 500,000 number of the pictures you got, and someone asks you to put that picture in an order, right? So everyone can do it differently. Someone can put the picture geographically. If he find the picture that this set of pictures belongs to India, this set of picture belongs to UK, this set of picture belongs to US. So he can do the segregation and he can inform this is actually the 500,000 pictures are now divided in a category geographically. Someone can divide with respect to the gender, someone can divide with respect to the object type, and so on. Someone can divide with respect to these are my family member, these are my friends, these are my close relative, these are my distance relative, and so on. So all this data are the input, and when we got the output is actually information or the goal which was set for that particular data. And this all the process is known as the data analysis. Is it clear? What is the data? What is the information? And the between the data and information process data analysis. So any questions? Team, just one request. Let's make this session a little bit interactive. Otherwise, probably, so that we
Sir,
can get connect on the things and all.
sir, please can you repeat what is data?
Sure, Rahul. Rahul, when we talk about the data can be anything. It's maybe some raw facts, it may be some values, it may be the structure, it may be the unstructured data, it may be a pictures, anything the inform that is the data which you want to use as an input. When you put the process on the data, right, and that process post this process, the process can be anything based on your goal, how you want to handle that data, and the information which we get from the data is actually information. That is called the information, the response which we got from the data. So data is usually anything consists of a raw file, valued, figure, pictures, right? That is the only data. And once we will make it structured, process, make it in a presentable format, and that become the information.
So we can also say that raw facts are the data and the information is the processed one.
Right, you are correct. Rahul, is it clear to you?
Sir,
Mr.
yes.
Rahul? Yep. And now on the data analysis, this part is clear, Rahul?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind to brief me? Maybe in any layman language will be fine, not by the method or word.
Sir, data is what's the input. Data can be anything, any image, any process, any audio, anything which is in raw material. And after we process that, that was information, processed data.
Yeah, process data is information. You are correct. And this processing of the data is actually a data analysis. So if I will ask you the flowchart, if I can brief you the flowchart, it usually divided into the few manners. One is the inspection of data, then the segregation or the filtering of the useful data. That means we can cluster out the spam information over here or spam data over here. Then on the basis of this clustering, filtering of the data.
No, sir.
Yep, yeah, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir.
Anji, ma'am.
Sir, that means data can be data can be means non truth value also. No, the truth value will not be there in the data, right?
I'm sorry,
Means
ma'am.
the truthness of the truthness of the input is also not there in the data. It can be anything false or true. We have to
Yes.
after
It's
processing it, we can, then only we can.
right. So the data analysis, when we talk about the data analysis usually done on the basis of certain goals. As I given you the example of pictures, the same if I'm giving you the bunch of all the vegetables in a one bag, right? Just for example, I'm giving you the bunch of all the vegetables in a one bag, and what you will do, you will process that vegetable, you will separate the bananas, you will separate all the bananas are fruit, you can separate all these onions, potatoes, peas, and so on, brinjal, you will separate it, right? So what you was doing, you are doing the analysis while doing a separation. Why the separation was done? Because you are having a goal to separate the so-called so like and the same thing in a bunch. So, and during the separation, if you found there was some dust or something which is not required, which is not a vegetable or something else, let's say I said the banana, so that was the banana. So you can uh, the banana can be a spam for your unused data, so that you can filter the banana as it's not a vegetable and you are having a goal to set only for the vegetable. So you can keep a banana aside, which is a fruit. So this is exactly a data analysis. Ma'am, it's make a sense? It's clear?
Thank you, sir.
Right. So while we are talking about this data analysis, right? So I said like the data analysis is based on a certain goals. Now, if I divide this goal in a 4-part, so what can be a goal and what to be do in the data analysis, and what type of the decision can be taken on the data analysis, right? So that might be the diagnostic part. The diagnostic, when we said like what will be the output of this data and it will be done. So that comes under the diagnostic. And descriptive. Descriptive can be see exactly what will be happened with this data, what information can be extracted from this data, right? Then a predictive. When I said a predictive, you can recall the example of the 500,000 pictures which I said. So one guy said with respect to his family, close friend, relative and all. One guy said the pictures with respect to the geographical locations and the divisions. One guy said this picture with respect to the object, human and the animals or so on, right? So that is based on the prediction what can be done with this kind of data and what you want. And the prescriptions is basically how you want to make it happen. So basically these are the um, data analytical model which can be done by asking a 4 question. You can start any of the analysis what you want to do with data and what information you want to extract from the data. So by putting this model, you can find out the relationship between the data, right? Identify the pattern of the data. You can recognize the data, and this model can be used to extract the information as per your goal set for that particular of input data. Right? Is it clear? The model, this is just a sample model which usually done and taken care for the analytical part of the data to get the certain goal and to extract the information from the data. So you can ask a 4 question with yourself. Why you want to do it, what will happen with the data, what are the predictions you want, and what are the things you will get from the data, and how you want to make the analysis and how you want to get the information. Now we are talking about the data. So let me talk to you about there was a 2 kind of data which we are used to talk. One is the structured data and another one is unstructured data, right? So as I said previously, the data can be anything. Now that anything can be converted into a 2-part. When we talk about the structure one, that means any of the data which can be in any of the database format we can prepare, or already the input is something in the database format. It can be in a text, it can be numbers, it can be any table, it can be information related to the any relational database. Let's say the detail of entire class, their mobile number, their details, their grade and everything. If you are giving me as an input, that will be known as the structured data. And unstructured data, everything else, then the structure is unstructured data. It might be any picture, it might be anything, it might be any bunch of emails, bunch of mails, bunch of forwarded messages, or the any other information, labels, anything is unstructured data. And you will be surprised to know that we are having a 20% of the structured data available in our domain. If you are looking at any Facebook, any of the app, any of the internet, right? So all the data server, they are having only 20% of the structured data. The rest 80% is the unstructured data. So this AI is actually helping the companies to make the relationship between the unstructured data only. And all the algorithm are created more and most only basis on the unstructured data. So when we talk about the unstructured data, which are on the very higher number, right? So it can be anything which was generated by the human, maybe a word processing file, any emails. And the emails, when we talk, it's a semi-structured data, we can say, or the even the messages we can call as a semi-structured data. Reason being, there was a few metafield or fields fixed, so that metadata is helped to find some relation between this unstructured data. So unstructured part will be the body of that email. Any of the social media related stuff, whether it's a tweet or whether it's a Facebook or Instagram post, right? Any of the websites data, it's coming on the YouTube, the pictures and all, or anything search on the Googles and all, where you find the pictures of multiple things, right? So IMS, detachable phone recording, media files, or any of the audio recording, right? This all are the usually unstructured data. Reason being, there is a relationship between this data is not known, and we have to make it possible by the processing, and we have to make the information by processing of the unstructured data. While the structured data, when we said the structured data is anything, it's in text, numbers, or which can be displayed in a row, column, or having a relationship. When I said the example, like the school database is a structured data where there is a relationship between the school name, contact number, establishment year, or so on. It's in a structure way, or there will be a relation that, and if I'm getting his input, that is a structure. While I'm getting the all the pictures of schools without naming, or let's say there was a name, I'm getting the address in a separate file as a text, and I'm getting the numbers, detail of the school in a separate file as a number. So it's unstructured data for me, on which I have to work out to make it in a structured way and extract the information as per the goal set by me or goal set by for that data. So any question on the data before going on this other part of terminology and all?
No, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hanji?
Sir, I was saying we have 20% structured data and 80% unstructured data.
Right.
Are we making unstructured data into structured data? Are we converting that, or we are using as it is?
No, we are converting the unstructured data to the structured one.
Okay, through this machine learning and all.
Right. So if I can give you the examples of this thing, you always put up pictures of yourself on the Facebook, right? Sometimes you put a picture of some of your friends along with you. By
Yes.
doing this analysis, the machine learning or the AI app which Facebook is having, the agent which they are activated, right? That identified the picture of your friends, right? So till
Yes.
now, it was the unstructured data for the Facebook. When they identified that this person belongs to Rahul, this picture belongs to Rahul, and there is a Amit who's standing behind the Rahul. So that suggest you, is it Amit? You said yes. When you said yes, that was processed at the structure way, cause that tagging can be used for the Amit's profile also. That will be getting linked to the Amit's profile. So you can find there was the relation has been built between your unstructured data posted a normal picture to the Facebook, right? And
Yes, sir.
intended for your own pictures only, right?
And that photo will be automatically tagged to my friend also.
Right.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And not only the pictures, there was a multiple PDFs are there. If you can search how many PDF are there in the web word, you will get in the trillions and the multiple numbers of the trillions. And if you open any online library kind of things, or if you are searching a specific PDF on the let's say Google, you are searching a um, some of the PDF related to the AI, how the AI application works in the PDF form. So you
Yes.
will get all the information on the Google search with the link, with the relations, right? So what Google's AI agent did, they scan all the data, all the unstructured data available on the online space. They map the relationship by either using the meta tab or either getting access to the PDFs or meta tab. When I said it's something the information which was put on the websites or for the files or the to make them visible or make them searchable, right? So by looking this meta text and all, they show you the in a very structured manner of all the PDF. So PDF standalone is an unstructured one. But when AI agent, I used to tell the all this algorithm which is work and which is gathering information is also known as the agents. So don't get the confused by this agent word when I use, right? So
Okay.
when this Google's AI agent find out the relation between all the PDF and the files and given you the output in the screen so that you can get the specific information which you was looking for. So
Okay.
that was done the unstructured data into the structured one.
Okay.
There was a multiple word document, spreadsheets, presentations, right? There was a multiple tweets are there, and you can usually get this all the information in the structure way. So that was done by on the basis of the information. Some companies there who used to track your social media profile, for example, they are used to track your social media profile to identify you as their target audience or not. Let's say they found a lot many of the pictures of yourself on the Facebook. uh, just think like your profile is open to the market, there's a no security or something, right?
Yes.
And I'm the someone who want to analysis and map my target audience from the internet, and I'm having all the unstructured data, and I pick the unstructured data as your pictures, right? I collected the pictures of lot many people, let's say maybe 1 million people. I collected the pictures, right? And what pattern I will found, like this Rahul always wear a jeans, so I can sell a jeans to Rahul.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And right, so I can start showing you my ad with on your page for selling the jeans, right? So what I get by doing all this processing of your data which was unstructured, it was a pictures, random pictures in your profile, right? It might
Yes.
be structured for the Facebook but not for me, right?
Yes, sir.
So and what I can extract my goal, like I am the manufacturers who's preparing a jeans or shirt and I was looking for a pattern, a guy who always wear a jeans so that he will be my potential customer, and I
You
start targeting you by selling a jeans,
you will find your customers.
right? Or let's say I will be little bit more precise. I got like you like some specific kind of a jeans. I always find on your pictures you are wearing some specific kind of jeans, so that I can target you with that particular specific kind of jeans, and you'll be surprised. Like this is something which I got in my screen is actually which I like.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And sir, thing happened with Amazon and e-commerce websites also. If we search something,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
closing that application, if you search something else on Google or Chrome, so there's an ad of related to that thing which you have searched on Amazon or Flipkart. So they are tracking that data.
That's right. These are the cookies, and the cookies and this
Yeah,
data, what we leave the footprint. I can say the online footprint which we used to leave is the one of the most potential data. One of the most potential unstructured data, I can say.
okay. Sir, so last bit. There's something. If suppose if we have I have an idea of something and I will search that is that idea or is that is created before or not. So I will search Google. So Google will track also Google keep the record of my new innovation, right?
Look, there's a possibility. You are correct. There's a possibility, but
Mhm.
probably the search which you guys are doing, the Google could not track the sentence and all. They used to break down your sentence is a multiple algorithm that run through a multiple algorithm, so that your original sentence is getting divided into even the alphabetical, you can say. Let's say you said my shoes idea, so M will be treated as a separate, Y will be treated as a separate, S will be treated as a separate. So there was a few things which will be talk about in the ethics part of the day 3. So what the question you said, Mina, reserve
Yes,
this
sir.
question, that will be again we will discuss on a day 3 training under the ethics, as there's a some rules and limitations, and not a limitations, some regulations for the AI apps to prevent this all kind of things. But
Okay,
yes,
sir.
there's a chances, like whenever you are searching on a Google, there was a cookies which
Mhm.
usually track. And let's say I'm someone who was collecting a cookies from the multiple website,
Yes, right.
maybe unethical way. It's not ethical to share the cookies to the others, right? Or the information to the others. But I was trying in a very unethical way. I'm tracking, so probably I can crack down your idea, or I can open your idea. It will be exposed to the world before getting implemented.
Okay, sir. And mainly sites, all the websites use cookies only.
Look, this is required. The cache server, actually, it's a role of a cache server. Like if you want to access the Google, right? So the Google head office is in US, right? In
Yes,
a
sir.
CA, there is a head office where they are having a data center, one of the data center, right? And if you want to access from the XYZ location, so there will be a high latency to reach over there, right? So to give you the experience to the end customer, they usually uses the cache server. And to maintain that cache server probably if you are in a NCR, your cache server is in a Delhi only. It's in a Gurgaon for the Google. So which give you the first level of the information and the first level of the collection. So to give you the superior experience, there is a cookies are required in a some way.
Okay, sir.
So it's not intended to get some information, and it's something actually the technologically required or needed to enhance the experience and all.
Okay, sir.
And as I said on a
Excuse
day
me,
3, yes, ma'am.
sir, as you said regarding the cookies, the same doubt also arose in me that in many of the apps they ask for cookies. If you click on the cookies, then only they will provide the information. So, is it good to allow cookies to get information? How far it is good, sir?
Look, it's a your choice. If you are uh, as I said, I was about to finish that particular thing. Like on the day 3, when we will talk about the ethics part on this related, right? So the ethics is something like you are having a trusted website, then you can enable the cookies. If you are having an untrusted website, always disable, reject the request. And,
If
and,
it's
That is, cookies also use AI.
and these cookies are simply stored in your system only. It's nothing related with that. It's stored in your system, and that cookies was used And getting transfer if you are using a multiple systems. Let's say if you did a search on your mobile, and if you start using your laptop, probably you will get the same product which was you search on the mobile as a ad in your Facebook page on your laptop,
Sir,
right? So that is kind of the information getting flow on the browser to browser if you are using the same browser and on the same login page.
so browser don't send this text message to the server, web servers. They
No.
cookies are
So
text messages which are stored on the web browser itself only.
right, they don't send, but there are a few things like the cookies has been collected for the few sites, and if they are collecting a cookies as per the norm, they required your approval also. So whenever you are opening a page, you have to select accept the cookies and this all.
Then that from time cookies by going to the settings and all from there.
Yes, you can do that. Cookie is clear and all, but
Huh.
my point to said about the cookies to identify it, like these all are the unstructured information for you guys. You don't bother about it, but being a AI agent myself, this is the potential data for me to build my target audience, to sell my product, or to fetch the information for you about you, not for you, for the information about you. So that's the unstructured information for you, and that is very potential data for some of the agents who's supposed to work, right? Or who's doing the goal with this mindset. So these points are clear now. Any question till now, so that we can go on the next part of our training?
Excuse me,
On the
sir.
terminology?
Sir, this Netflix and all these are also said to be AI. So how this Netflix is an example of AI?
Yes, ma'am. It's an example. They are actually the AI with the two part. One is if you are using the voice search or something, right? Whenever you are using a voice search, let's say you are searching for a movie Andaj or something, Andaj Apna Apna, and it's shown on the app like this movie is available on the Netflix, and you getting a redirected. So that information, for that information, right? Voice recognition, right?
Okay.
Voice to text, and the filtering. That's AI is a one part. Another part of the AI, let's say you search the Andaj Apna Apna, which is a comedy movie, right?
Yes.
And the similar, you want to watch another comedy movies on the same pattern.
Okay.
I can give you the example of 90s like a Raja Babu or something kind of movies. Okay. So usually the recommendation, if you are checking on the Netflix, there was a recommended videos or recommendations for you. So you will find that recommendation is based on the genre of the movie you used to watch. As you are watching all the comedies, so that's also making their filtration and the presentation of their titles in the way so that you can get connected. So that is also part of AI. They are also using AI.
Okay, sir.
Example is that
Yes, thank you so much.
let's suppose we have started a series and we have resumed it in between. So next time whenever you are going to log in from that particular ID, it will definitely ask you
Yes.
for the the previous series which
Resume or
you
you
left
start
in
over.
between. Yeah.
Start over or resume from the. Yes, I got it. Thank you, sir.
All right. So now if any of the doubts for the previous slide, so that we can go on the terminology part.
Sir, can you please show once the structure data slide for just a second?
Okay. The structured data is something where is the already pre-existing
No,
relationship.
sir, I just want that slide on the screen.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Okay.
I understood what it is.
One second. This one, ma'am?
Now, which is the next one? I think it's for unstructured data, right?
Yeah. So when we talk about the unstructured data, you might got confused with the few of the things like the emails or the mobile data, which can be structured, but they are actually a semi-structured data. They are not a complete structured data, right? So that's why it was mentioned over here, so that you can identify the exact structured data, semi-structured data, and the unstructured data. Okay. So on the terminology of AI, right? So these are the few terminologies which will be used on the AI part. One is the machine learning, which we already discussed, right? So the machine learning are the method, means we will I will show you with the examples also in the machine learning. I will recap all the part, right? So it's the automation of a machine to take the decisions and the learning based on the setted goal output, right? So it's a branch of artificial intelligence only. Then we will talk about the supervised learning and the unsupervised learning. The supervised learning and the unsupervised learning is the mechanism on the basis machine learning take decisions, right? Then the deep learning, if you remember and recall that picture, the dark circle between the AI and the ML is a deep learning. So we will talk about the deep learning, overview of the deep learning. Then the reinforcement learning. If you remember during the machine learning, I said there was a three kind of machine learning can be done. So they three are one is the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So we will talk about the reinforcement learning also, and then machine learning techniques and the training. What is exactly a training is required, and then neural networks, right? So let's start again, recap with the machine learning. So if someone can help me on the machine learning part, on the definition part, as we already discussed about the machine learning in the previous slide. It's just a recap of the same thing. Rahul, if you can brief me. Yes.
So, machine learning.
Machine learning is actually the manipulation of the data. Whenever we work with the data, it can be any type of a data. Whenever we work out with the data analysis, that is the machine learning.
Right, you are right. I want to hear now from someone who did not speak so far. So not Rahul, you, anyone, any of the volunteer who can brief. I can pick up the name by looking it. Anyone?
Machine learning, they can improve their performance as they get the information, more and more information, or they learn from themselves that information.
Right, you are correct. It's simple. Yes, yes, Anupam.
Basically, I suppose, analyze whatever data we are having to identify the common patterns and all that, so that we can use some decisions onto that, make some. Am I?
You are some instance correct, but the crux you missed. Your example is correct, Anu ma'am.
Yes, sir.
You are partially right, but the crux you missed out. The one part only you missed out. How that unstructured data will be make a structure. The process, that process is actually the where the machine learning is required.
Filtering.
Right, without with the minimum human intervention or the learning of that data, the decision making of data can be done by the machine directly.
And machine, so we can say that machine, learn from the past experience.
Correct. By the historical data and the historical method also. You're right. And this historical data and method, it's usually comes in a picture with this deep learning also. Deep learning, where it help the machines to inform like this is the pattern which we already learned in the past, and we can use it here again. You are absolutely right. It's on even more on the machine learning part. So anyone who did not speak so far, and I want to hear from each one of you, like you are getting, or if you are having any doubt, We can repeat it again. Right? So the example, the typical example and the best example of this machine learning, which I am putting in front of you, you can see this is the Amazon ecosystem, which usually perform on your task. If you want to plan a music, or if you want to set your schedule, if you want the reminder of the schedule, right, it will be your virtual assistant. You can ask to perform the task, you want them to play the music, you want them to record the time, to save the appointment. If you want them to order something, even on the connected apps, right, that can be done by, even the payment system can be done by these virtual assistants. If you are having a predefined payment system and the authentication of the voice is there, and you want them to make a payment, that can also done by these machines, right? So this virtual personal assistant, which is the Siri, Alexa, Google Assistants, right, they are very popular examples, and they are actually something which we used to do on the everyday basis. They are connected with our life nowadays, right? And what they do, why they are the machine learning, why they did. If you guys are using this Siri, maybe since 2014 or 2016 times, so they was very weak with the Hindi words. If you are telling something in a Hindi, you usually did not get the proper response from them. But nowadays, this Siri is so advanced. If you are asking some question in a Hindi, probably they will reply you in the Hindi only, not in English. So they are so important. They learn themselves. They build up their library, right? And they take the decision on the basis of your questions, your word, and all. So this is the typical examples, right? So this machine learning we already discussed. Now let's discuss something which was not discussed so far. It's the supervised learning. So as I said, there was a 3 method on which the machine learning worked. One is the supervised. Why it's the supervised, right? Reason being, it can be achieved, the supervise, all this algorithm can be achieved on the basis of the supervision done by us, or the supervision done by the programmer, all the algorithm and all who used to supervise to see the prediction of the data. That means the goal which you set for that ML is usually supervised by you, and you used to make it correct. Let's say you got the some process output. With respect to, I can recall the same example of a 500,000 pictures which supposed to align, right? Let's say your machine learning output is come in the geographical manner, right? Being a supervisor, you can give an input like you supposed to filter and club the data not with respect to the geographically, but with respect to the object type. Here, what you did, you supervised him and you help him in the learning, right? So if you go by the theory, right, it's the process of making an algorithm to be learned by the ML, right, to achieve the particular task, and the supervised by you, right? So that once that algorithm or the process is successfully learned, that can be implemented. And if you want some necessary changes in the same algorithm which was learned by the machine learning, you can get it correct and get the more predicted or the required goal. You got it on this supervised learning? In a very layman language, it's a something what you guys are doing with your student. You are supervise them. If they are doing something wrong, you come in a picture, correct them. You ask them to do it correctly. If someone is done correctly, you usually appreciate, okay, it's going fine. If something goes wrong, you make it correct. So that's kind of learning is actually a supervised learning.
Sir, so Siri is supervised learning. Siri जो improve हुआ
CV, right?
हाँ जी.
Sorry, I did not got this CV.
Sir, Siri, iPhone Siri.
Okay, yeah, Siri is a supervised learning. You are correct. Siri is a supervised learning. Alexa is a supervised learning. Google Assistant is a supervised learning. And the example of the supervised learning, why I put is here related to this ATL and all. It's something the object recognition for the vision. It's a program was created by the many schools during the ATL with the Raspberry Pi, and that's can be again enhanced with this the ML, right? So that you can make their database always updated so that the object can be recognized every time. So there was one project was created by the school on this object recognition with the very minimum like that can recognize the human and the animal by using a Raspberry Pi. Now how you can make it more enhanced? You can give their database so that they can distinguish between the humans also with the name, with the database. Now how you are supervising? You are updating the database, telling them to recognize on the basis of the database, to fine tune their algorithm, and on the basis of that they are performing a task. So here is the supervised learning.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means in supervised learning, first that is without the human support, it can't happen. That is human support is required along with ML machine language.
Yes, ma'am. Supervised learning is something where the human supposed to intervene to get the desired goal. As I said, you make one of the ML app, right? With some expectations. Again, I'm giving you the same example which was shown. Okay, object recognition for the vision, right? Now, how that ML will recognize all the object until unless you will not supervise them, until unless you will not build their database, until unless you will not assist them to recognize something for the first time, so that the first time they can recognize and they can save it in their database and algorithm, so the next time they do not require your intervention or the requirement or the supervision.
So, like biometric machines, they could be under this, which is being used to take the attendance of the employees.
Biometrics machine I cannot call as AI, to be very frank. Like they are a simpler database, ma'am. So they are not working. But yes, if you are having something enhancement with this biometric machine, let's say your biometrics machine is connected with the system which will inform to your, let's say your parents or your family that you reached the office.
Okay.
Right. And that kind of things. Let's say if biometric machine can order the coffee for you once you reach the office and set up all the information. So that is standalone biometrics machine is not the AI.
Okay.
So, but it uses camera to identify the person while putting that image.
Okay, that is the only mechanism which was used for the face recognition, and the algorithm used for the AI algorithm is the same used, but with the very limited of the application. So what happened, by the way, nowadays we used to connect the multiple things with the algorithm part. So that's only the algorithm which used by this biometrics machine to identify the face detection mechanism, where you give the input for the one time of the database of the pictures, and then it will be recognized every time.
Yes, okay.
Now talk about the disadvantage of the supervised learning, right? So there was a multiple disadvantage. Yes, you write correctly. There was a message like the decision taken based on the input is actually the AI. The collection of the data is not only the AI part. The processing of data is something the AI part, but the decision making and the something which can be done by directly by these sensor and the devices is actually AI. You are correct. So there was a lot many challenges, right? Whenever you are working with this supervised learning, you have to relook the algorithm multiple times. You have to correct the algorithm multiple times until unless you will get the desired result. Or if there is some incremental changes are required with the time, that's supposed to be done by the coder or the developer, right? and the data need to be trained. When we said the train the data, that means the database which we are talking about. In the vision identification app, we have to update the database to identify any object. If that vision detection app is not having the pictures or the description of a mobile, probably it will always identified mobile as a normal box, because it can say it's in a rectangular shape if it's a rectangular shape in with this dimension or something. So probably it can always pick that mobile as the box only, not as the mobile. So that database supposed to be required, and this database updation and all is usually known as the train. And if you read on this terms, we will talk about the training part also. What is the training? So that is a training where we are giving an input under the supervised learning to the AI agent to make it to reach the desired goal is actually a training, right? And the time which required for the computation is also high. Reason being we have to supervise the information before getting the output, or after getting the output we have to again recompute on the basis of our set goal, right? So there was a few this disadvantage of supervised learning, right? And the one of the more which is the disadvantage, if my database is incorrect, if I am not getting a database correctly, or there was some mistake, manual mistake has been done on the database by me, so probably my algorithm will be run incorrectly. Let's say in place of a mobile, if I put the Kate in my object learning app, so probably they can always detect my mobile as a Kate, which was the manual mistake or something during this data processing part I did on the database. So these are the few disadvantages of a supervised learning. So most of the time the supervised learning, they used to move on the unsupervised learning, right? Where the lot many advantages are also there with the very minimum intervention by the human being. Now on the unsupervised learning. So we talk about the data, which is the structure and the unstructured data. If you want to do some supervised learning with the unstructured data, so do you think it's feasible for you guys to do this thing? The example which I give about the Rahul's potential customer for my jeans. As a manufacturer, I'm building a database for my potential customer, and I identified a Rahul Soni who used to wear a jeans, right? In every picture I found, and one particular kind of jeans, and he probably my potential customer, and it was done. Do you think it's possible with the structure learning? Any response on this?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
The example which I given before, Rahul, like you like to wear a jeans every day, one specific kind of a jeans. I pick up your all unstructured data from the Facebook or any of the social media from the internet, right? And I identified you as my potential customer for the jeans which I am the manufacturer I am selling, right? So whether it was possible for me to do this under the supervised learning.
No, sir, it is not possible.
Ma'am, it's possible.
It's possible, but it will be a tedious task for a
Right.
human being to perform such a huge data working.
Right. It's a possible, but required a lot many efforts by me. Lot many of the algorithm need to be corrected, and I have to build up a database also multiple times, right? Who's the
Because being
Rahul?
a human being, we will make a different segregation and categorization, and we will make the fields, and then we will align the data, and then we'll work on it. But AI can work on it by just recognizing the particular sections over there or data over there and then can perform the task on that side.
Sir, but in
Exactly.
supervised learning, sir, I have a doubt in this one. The thing is that in supervised learning, we'll be more careful in giving the supplying the data to the means in a processed way. We'll not give what we like and what we dislike, or we'll be more cautious in giving the data. Then how can that is the reason why I said it was not possible.
No, it was possible. It's not like a not possible, but you said it will be possible for the, let's say, the 5 people, 10 people, or 20 customer, not for the 1 million customer. If you remember, I said during this example, I have to build up a database. Rahul is one of them for the 1 million people, right? So I can do it, but by doing this supervised learning, I have to check a multiple algorithm and I have to feed a multiple times. Now, where the unsupervised learning comes in a picture, where all the data which are collected are having a no label, and I'm not sure about the output, but I'm just setting some of the ideas ki I want this kind of a things from this data, right? So that all this learning and the pattern recognition will be done by the ML is known as unsupervised learning. That means they are doing their own set of the pattern. They will do the output basis on the data and input, right? And all this learning, self-learning mode they will do like this, all the possible ways to present this data to get the information. That is
And
actually unsupervised learning.
and moreover, we will have to keep repetitive data, like many instances of the data we will have to keep, I suppose.
Right. But how they are learning? How they are learning on this unsupervised learning? That means the system was learning themselves. System was learning themselves
Yeah.
to reach the desired goal. So I can give you one very good example on this unsupervised learning, right? So here you can watch out the picture of cricket. It's a jersey number 18. The blue boy was usually a Virat Kohli, and there was a Brett Lee from the Australia, a yellow color, right? Let's say you are someone who is exceptional, but I'm telling you, you are the someone who don't know about the cricket, and one of your friend ask you to watch the cricket match along with you. Now you are a shy, you don't want to tell them like you don't know much about the cricket. So what you do? How you learn about the cricket? By watching the match. How you identified the team in the blue is the Indian cricket team. The team in the yellow is the Australian team. The jersey number 18 is a Virat Kohli. You can see these two players are playing by the scorecard. One is a Virat Kohli, another one is someone else. A Rishabh Pant who's playing, for example, right? So that means these two are the batsmen. They are playing. Whenever they are hitting and touching a boundary, particular rope, you can understand where it's some numbers with which you are getting. It's a 4 or it's a 6, and you learn like okay, it's India who's getting the score by looking the scorecard also, right? Then also you come to know the fielder or a person who's just standing behind the batsman is a keeper, wicket keeper or something, right? He's a fielder side. So by looking this match and you make some of the decisions and the prediction, right? And you collected the data, and end of the day you can say I learned something about the cricket now by watching this match without asking a question to anyone, without showing that you are not aware about cricket to your friend who to whom you probably want to impress, or who probably you don't want to show to make yourself impress, right? So you said like you know about the cricket and you learn the cricket by just watching a match, by making their own decision. So this is actually unsupervised learning, where the output is not sure, but all the learning has been done. Now that basis on the output, you can supervise yourself with every kind of data. The next time if you start watching the match again, right? So you will start from the learning of a day one, what you did and you know, and so on. Probably your vocabulary, the knowledge of the cricket, the terms related to the cricket, the information related to the cricket will be increased, and you will be one fine day you can tell like you are now much more than much more aware about the cricket, and that what you did you learn by yourself without any supervision, without anything. This is exactly a unsupervised learning.
Right.
So the unsupervised learning, the algorithm get improved by the system themselves basis on the previous attempt and the previous learning. Right?
Ask one thing. Actually, when we make anything, we know the output first, and then we make the things. Actually, what is happening every time, the output is known. But in machine learning, we don't know the output. That means
Ma'am,
this
the goal has been
unsupervised.
set. The goal has been set.
Okay.
The goal has been set, but how to do and how to achieve that goal was not told to the machine learning. That is unsupervised. The goal has
Okay,
been told.
means
I
we
said
know the
like you.
output.
Yes,
We know the.
the output means the goal is set already. Not exactly the output, I can say. The goal has been set.
Hmm.
I'm just one. Yeah. So, ma'am, the goal has been set. Without goal, you cannot create. Like then it will be something different, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay. In the this unsupervised learning also, we knew that we have to know about the game. That was the goal.
Right. Right.
Okay. 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 That was the goal, that we have to actually by the end of the day we must know what the game is all about.
Right.
Okay. Got
Here
it, sir.
the goal was set like you are going to watch a cricket and you have to learn about the cricket. You cannot sit in front of a screen without knowing the cricket, right? So that was the goal. That's why you are going there.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So almost we are about to close this session. There was few points has been left out, which probably we will start on the second day, right? Which is related to the deep learning. So what we will do, we will start the deep learning on the upcoming days session, which may be tomorrow. You probably having a self learning, and the very next day, right? So assignment is already there. Assignment is kind of a quiz, right, for you guys. But the same time, I request each one of you, like this, all what I said is a glimpse about the artificial intelligence. Please do read. If you feel this topic, it's really very interesting topic, the AI. It's all about. So just start reading about this AI and all, and get yourself familiar with the terms and try to understand. It's very very nice thing. And once it will be you are aware about this AI, na, so you can start correlating everything what is going in your around, and whenever you are trying to make the project or something, so you can use the similar way, like how you can implement the things in the right way. So that's all for today's. Any question?